I don't think, well, it's not. He's definitely not crying for no reason. He's crying because he lost his brother Ali. And according to the Learning to Live Through Loss paper, it says that intense emotions are a normal part of grief. You may feel confused, helpless, angry, sad, lonely, afraid, and guilty. I think that this really connects to Holden because he's often confused. He constantly contradicts himself, and he's angry a lot.
So if his brother died 4 years ago, and statistically proven that if it's going to be the next year or so, isn't he past his point where he's supposed to do that?
And the same fact, I wanted to point out that the points you were just reading right next to it says things that make grief worse. And 3 points that I picked out that I think reflect Holden is trying too hard to act like an adult, because he goes to the lobby and he smokes cigarettes. He asks for a scotch and soda knowing he's underage. And, you know, he does things that, you know, normally adults would do. And he's only an adolescent. Using sex for escape, comfort, or attention. You see that the prostitute went to his room. And throughout the whole book, Holden talks a lot about sexual activity. And also denial, using the constant music or telephone. We see through the whole book that Holden tries to connect with people he hasn't talked to probably in years, months. People that he's lost contact with. And throughout the book, he tries to talk to Phoebe, he tries to talk to Jane Gallagher, and we all see that. These are things that make grief worse. So the list right next to it, where you were pointing out, yes, these are things that help you recover, but what Holden is doing is he's making things worse for himself, which is not normal teen behavior, because if you're a normal teen, you would want to get help, you would want to better yourself. But not what Holden's doing, he's doing the exact opposite.
But not necessarily. I can't say that. Our group believes that him trying to talk to a prostitute, which you consider abnormal from someone, they wouldn't want to do that if they're hiring a prostitute. However, we feel that this is his way of trying to communicate with someone because he feels so lonesome. Like, for the fact that he doesn't have people close to him. He is trying to talk to anyone. He talks to cab drivers. He asks them questions that pretty much no one will know the answer to. And the fact that he's lost his brother, he can't make this connection with other people because they can't understand him. So it's like he's looking for, like, we constantly see throughout the book, he's trying to call up someone, an old friend, even though all he has is like 3 contacts in his book. But he's trying to communicate, and we feel that in the teenager suffering through loss, he is trying to, like, break through this, you know, this loneliness, this feeling of loneliness, and try to find someone who he could connect to, which is pretty normal for an adolescent to do. However, the fact that he lost his brother and the fact that he can't relate to anyone in the book, there was no mention, makes it hard for him to talk with people, making him antisocial. But that even brings it back to my claim. My original claim was that it's like, you see, at times he feels that he wants to be antisocial, and it feels at times that he wants to be social. It's that he tries to be social, but when he sees that he can't make that connection, he reverts back to being lonely and antisocial. So that's actually normal. A lot of kids do that. If, you know, you can't seem to make a connection with somebody, or you can't find friends, you stay to yourself. You're an outcast. So you can say that he's an outcast. That doesn't necessarily make him abnormal.
He went to a psychoanalyst, and he's talking to them with his own free will. Like, nowhere in the text does it say that somebody sent him to one, or it doesn't show that he's in denial. Like, back to what Melissa was saying, that he was in denial or something. Crazy people or people that are not normal are usually in denial when they know what they're doing isn't right. So for him to actually go out and seek help, it basically shows that he understands that it's not right. He understands that what's going on is not right. He's not comfortable with it, so he goes and seeks help for himself.
Okay, but do you have like a quote that he considers it, or that he brings it up again, that he wants to see a psychoanalyst, or that he admits that he needs help?
But at the end, he just starts talking to a psychoanalyst. So basically, from that quote, you would probably infer that.
But why not? But why not a therapist? But why not a guidance counselor? Why such an intense treatment?
It's not intense treatment. If you read the psychoanalyst article, you would see that anyone interested should seek a consultation. Anyone is open.
Yeah, but it says who can benefit from psychoanalysis. It says on the page with the description. Anyone interested should seek a consultation with the psychoanalyst in order to determine if this treatment is appropriate. People who begin psychoanalysis Also after having participated in psychoanalytic psychotherapy, which is a less intense form of treatment. He could have gone to psychotherapy, which is a less intense form of treatment, yet he chose psychoanalysis. But why?
And I'd like to bring up the point that if you read on further, it would state that individuals who are most suited for psychoanalysis are those who have experienced satisfactions in work, with friends, and marriage, but who nonetheless experience a general dissatisfaction with their life, suffering from long-standing depression, anxiety, sexual difficulties, physical symptoms without physical basis, or typically feel isolated or alone, which hands down.